In this lesson, we're going to finish setting up our hazard here so that it will detract from our player's health. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. Now you can see I tried clicking on it, but it selected the canvas. So another way I can select it is just by clicking on Buzzsaw here on the hierarchy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new animation for it. So I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to go to Animation. And now to begin, I need to create an animator and an animation clip, so I can just click Create right there. And I want to put this into a different folder, so I'm going to put it into the animation folder. And I'm going to call this animation spin. Okay. Now what I'm going to do for the animation is I'm going to rotate it around the Z. So as you can see, this rotates it. So I'm just going to type in 0 though, because I want it to start off not rotated at all. That has inputted a keyframe there. So now I'm going to go up to 1 second over here, and I'm going to just set this to be 360. So that's a full rotation, 360 degrees. Let's see what happens. It looks like it is rotating. We can scrub slowly through this and see what happens. And it looks like that is what is happening. So I can also just play it and see it. And there we go. There's our rotation. Cool. So with that done, I'm just going to close that out, and now I need to add a collision component to this so that when I hit it, it will actually, actually be hitting something. So let's go to Physics 2D, and let's add a circle collider here. So I've added that component. We can adjust the radius a little bit because it's not quite lining up perfectly there. So here in the circle collider 2D, I'm just going to decrease the radius a little bit, just like that. I think that'll work better. Cool, okay, so we have that set up. Now I'm going to create a new tag, and we're going to use this tag in a second to actually, when we do the checking collision, it's going to look to see if the object we hit has a hazard tag, because then that's when we need to decrease our health. So I need to add that tag because we don't have a hazard tag yet. So I'm going to click on just untagged, and I'm going to go to Add Tag. Okay, so you get something like this, and what we need to do is just click on the plus here under Tags to add a tag. And we're going to call this tag, we're going to call it Hazard. Okay, just like that. And now we got to reselect the buzzsaw, and then click on Untagged again, and now we have the hazard tag in this list. So I'm going to click on that. Now it is set to be hazard tagged. So now I'm going to open up the Health Manager, and in here we're going to start by adding a new function. This is a one of Unity's functions, on collision enter 2D, and it takes a collision 2D, and we're just going to call this collision 2D col, and this is just a function that will be called whatever this object that the script is attached to collides with a 2D collider. It's going to call this function, and it's going to pass in that object's collider, the one it collided with, for the col variable, for the collision 2D type. Okay, so we can use this. We can say, we can check to see if the object we collided has the tag hazard. So how do we do this? We just say if, and then we need to say col, that's the variable, and then we're checking the game object dot tag, because the tag variable is part of game object, so we have to access the game object that the collision 2D is part of. So we do that, and we say is it equal to, so equivalent to, and we'll just say hazard, capital H, hazard. So if this is what happened, then what we need to do is we need to subtract from our health. So health minus minus, that will decrement our health by 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off one of our hearts. We're going to change one of them to be not set active. So hearts at health, because if you think about it, we're starting a health at 3, right? So when we subtract 1 from it, it's going to be equal to 2, and that's going to be the end of the hearts array, because we're starting with 0. So 0, 1, 2 are the indexes, even though the length is 3. So this will work. So okay, so hearts at health, at the index health, and we're going to do the set active, so set active and set active to false. So now it'll be turned off. Cool, so we have that. Now we need to do one more thing. So if our health is equivalent to 0, then what we want to do is restart the level. So it's going to be application dot load level, and we're going to pass in the application dot loaded level name as the parameter, because this function takes a string, and the string is the name of the level. So there we go. So now we have that. So cool, we have all that in there now. Let's save it, go back into Unity, see what errors come up. Looks like we're good. So now let's see what happens when we actually collide with this hazard here. Yeah, it looks like that's doing something. It's like it did it a few times. So we still have some problems, and we'll go ahead and fix those here in a second. But for now, it does seem to be changing that. Let's just see. So if I get rid of all of my hearts, then yep, it restarts the level. Cool. So we have that now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.